We've been shooting weddings for 8 years, and in that time, I've blogged probably over 90% of our weddings. And I feel like I've gotten to a point that I'm saying the same thing over and over. Wow, these things are beautiful. Oh, these people are lovely. Wow, what a day. Oh, the weather. I feel like my energy is not being conveyed in those words, and I feel like a broken record, and it's a big bummer because I love these people. I'm so excited about our work, and I want to be able to share stories, and I feel like it's just not coming across in text typing. So I wanted to do something a little bit different, just in a more human way, because who reads things anymore? Like, that's what the world's like now. So I'm gonna try this, and if it's cool, great. If it's the worst, sorry. So Morgan and Michael are incredible, wonderful human beings. They came to our house in Muskegon this past winter to do their engagement session, and it was one of those winter days that we don't get a lot of here in Michigan, let alone Muskegon, Michigan, where the snow is fresh and beautiful and not dirty and gross, and the sun is just beaming through the trees, and we get like 2 of these a year. And it just happened to fall on the date that we had scheduled with them. And unfortunately, I had like a 2-month flu at the time, so I was running like 102 temp and like almost passed out in their session. It was worth it. So fast forward to the wedding, and we were able to get to know their family. But I do find that these kind of super genuine people, you can just see from a mile away that they're just so honest about who they are. They come from families that are like that as well. Her dad especially got to me because he's a lot like my dad. He sort of will joke around and give you crap about stuff, and you never completely know if he's kidding or not. That sort of puts you on edge, because if you don't know somebody really well, you sort of backtrack in your mind. You're like, what have I said? What have I done? Is it bad? I don't know. Did he not realize it was a joke? So there was a moment of panic when Ryan and I were like not sure about this guy. And I love characters like that, because there are moments like when he saw Morgan for the first time in her dress, and it was this amazingly sweet moment where I remember him saying how much she looked like his wife on their wedding day. She was sort of standing off to the side behind me. It's crazy because these people are basically strangers to me. I just met them literally hours ago. To be in these sort of like intimate family moments is, I mean, it's sort of a privilege to be present in that kind of thing every weekend. Although you're physically present, it's really hard to not become emotionally involved in everything. And I'm always just like, I'm checking my shots as I'm trying to like not cry like a child. I love that range of people. We have like 10 to 12 hours to get to know people. Sometimes easily you can do that because they're in this day where everyone's their happiest, and they're just showing the best of themselves. It's just a wonderful environment to meet people in. There's also a lot of stuff with their family in this particular wedding. Morgan had specifically requested to do immediate family pictures outside and have more of a casual feel to them, which I love. I love it so much. And I wish so badly I could do this like at every wedding. I wish that we made time for this. We're really only doing family portraits like typically in the church or on the church steps, and it's you get in, you get out, next group. There's no time to really like sink in and enjoy each other. I love that we were able to do these out in, you know, beautiful light, and just sort of have everyone laugh together and interact a little bit. Nothing insane. We didn't spend an hour doing this, but just, you know, 15, 20 minutes of just time together to just sort of goof off. You can just see who people are better, and I think that's what makes me most excited about everything, and what I feel like I can't convey in my past blog posts is that relationships are huge. They're everything. You can have the prettiest picture in the world, and if there is nothing behind it, what is it? A pretty picture? An ad in a magazine? I mean, that's not what people want in the long run. It's feeling things that are everything. And this wedding made me feel so many things. It's sometimes little things as well. So in the bride and groom session, it's a lot of look at each other, look at me, look at each other, look at me, look into the sky, look on the ground. It's a lot of just, I'm constantly rambling stupid things to see what happens. And it's when people infuse these little moments of character and humanness that I think are the greatest parts of things. This picture, for example, is, you know, a typical shot looking down on them and, hey, have a look at each other, have a look at us kind of thing. And I think I told them to smell each other, which is weird, I get it. Telling them to do that, you sort of leave a little bit of leeway for people to interpret that in their own way. And she made this like adorable scrunched up nose, and it was super cute, and it just brings a life and humanness to it that just looking at each other, looking at me, doesn't really have. There's also an image in there where they rented this B&B and there was a cool barn out back, so we went up to the top of the barn. It's got like this cool light coming through the old wood. We were taking this beautiful shot. Well, Ryan was taking this beautiful shot because that's what Ryan does. It was pretty, but it was lacking that like spark for me. So Ryan took his very beautiful picture, and then I wasn't sure exactly what to do, and sometimes I'm not. I mean, I sort of talk myself into a lot of things, just sort of spitballing and seeing what sticks. And I just was like, there needs to be some sort of movement. I'm like, can you dance? Yes, everybody dance. And so they did. And the great thing about being high energy and just sometimes is because it gets people riled up with you. It sort of, it jolts them into, okay, I'll do that thing. Oh, Lord, do they commit. They just start busting out these dorky, wonderful moves. There's no music. It's just the four of us up in a dark barn, like a really unusual place to be doing this. And it came out of nowhere, and they just gave it 100%. They were laughing and having a great time. And I think it's at that point in the bride and groom session where that good mojo like happened. Speaking of committing, right at the end of the bride and groom session, I was finishing up with them, and the last second I just started yelling things again, which I do a lot. I was just like, Michael, just go and attack her, like just run at her and crash into her, but don't knock her over because she's in a wedding dress. He was like, okay. He just like bulldozed her, but like captured her. And I love to crash people because it's that moment of impact that is sort of surprising and shocking to people, and it like pushes the greatest joy out of them because they're not self-conscious, they're not realizing what's happening, they're just like enjoying and laughing at being crashed into. I love the expressions that stuff kind of gives, and I'm so happy he didn't knock her over. So far, no one ever has been knocked over. And like I said earlier, I feel like such great people are always surrounded by such great people. Since the guys are really like all fun and just seemed like they were up for anything, and I already know that Morgan and Michael are. So I took them out into the street and I just told them to charge me. Just attack. Don't hurt me. So I had them just attack, and they gave everything. Usually I'll have to do this a few times for them to understand, like I'm going for rage, like happy, joyful rage. But they just like gave everything. It's sort of crazy. Like this isn't a picture your grandma will look at and be like, wow, lovely. This is just fun, high energy, great times. The great part about this is though that the girls over in the beautiful foliage with Ryan saw this happening and requested to do this as well, which I don't think has ever happened. Usually girls aren't as full of fun rage as guys are. So I was like, heck yes. So I get them out, and they did such a good job, and the giggles that rage produces are just some special type of giggles. I got everybody together for that big group shot of just like attack. That's the cover image for the blog. And that's one of my favorite images because it's such good energy in that picture, and I love that kind of stuff. I guess I'll end on the story of her dad's speech. This guy loves his family in such a wonderful way that I can really like connect to because he reminds me of my own dad, and you can tell what a good relationship he has with Morgan, what a good like protector of her he is. Just the threatening stories. And how everyone was like, be nice, Michael seems like a nice boy, be nice to him. When she first brought him home, like had me just cracking up. Obviously, Michael won him over because he's such a just a great, genuine guy that cares for Morgan. It's like so easy to see that he just like adores her. I have no doubt in my mind that Morgan and Michael will be married to the end of their days. They just seem so strong together, are surrounded by such a good support system of people, and that's so important. But I love being able to be present for things like that, to see how much everyone cares for each other. So I hope you enjoyed this more personal, human sort of deal. And be able to get to know who these people are a little bit better, because I know not everyone looking at this blog knows Morgan and Michael. To Morgan and Michael and your families, you guys are the most excellent of human beings. I am so happy, seriously so happy that we were able to do this with you guys. I feel like I walked away from your wedding. Well, you could ask Ryan. It's a lot of squawking on the drive home of like, oh, this happened and that happened and I feel so good and all that. I'm on a high is what happens after weddings. This was a great wedding, guys. I think 2016 is gonna be such a good year and I am so excited. I cannot wait. Duma? She's been sitting over here judging me the entire time. Why are you being so loud? Are you hungry? That's what I thought.